What's up, y'all? Happy Sunday night. Happy Sunday night. Listen, yeah, I don't know what I just watched. And I don't know how to feel about any of this. So y'all are just going to have to work with me because y'all are honestly going to get my honest, raw reaction. And it might be all over the place because I am just confusion with what I just watched. First of all, let me say this. Oh, let me my microphone. First of all, let me say this. They gonna need to change this name from the Real Housewives of Atlanta to the Real Divorced Wives of Atlanta because ain't nobody's marriage making it out of this safe except for Shamir. Shamir, the only one that's gonna walk away with what she walked in with. Angela, girl, that man don't even like you. Kelly, Kelly already going through her divorce. What's the other girl name? Angela, Brit. I don't think your husband like you too much either. We're going to get to Brit in a minute. So, we pick up this episode and we are where we left off. We are still at the party. We are still at the party. I'm going to say this. I'm not going to say Charles don't like Angela. I'm going to say Charles don't want to be on this show. That's what I'm going to say. I don't know if he's doing it for her or whatever, but I don't think Charles want to be on the show. But we're going to get to that in a minute. So, Porsha confronts Drew. Now, Drew, here's where we get in trouble with you. Drew, you don't know how to just make a straight line. You got to go all out here. Dennis was my angel. Dennis saved me. Dennis. First, it was Dennis was trying to help you. First, Dennis was trying to help you and what's her face get back together. Dennis was there for you while you were going through what you was going through. Then it was y'all was in the studio making these hits together, singing about y'all lost love. Then it was, girl, Dennis love you. Dennis love you. He made songs for you. He cried in the studio for you, girl. All that extra ain't necessary. When that girl asked you about what was going on with you and Dennis, just be like, girl, he's helping me make music. Okay. And if you had said at that party, I'm not saying to Porsha because Porsha mad about something totally different. But if you had said at that party to the rest of the ladies, listen, I have tried to work with all of these producers and ain't none of them came through. So I'm going to do something different. And doing something different is going with somebody that's not proven in the industry. And maybe, just maybe, it'll work out for me. But Drew, you went all over here. And like Cynthia said, girl, you have been known to tell a lie or two or three. So that's another reason why people was looking at you crazy. Because you have been known to tell some lies. So now that you need, it's like the boy that cried wolf. Now that you need the support of the people, they're thinking about all the times that you was less than honest about your situation. But then we find out that all of this, so then Porsha brings up a photo shoot. Girl, you work for Go Naked. How you gonna be setting up a photo shoot for Go Naked and all you do, we pay you to wear the hair. We don't pay you to do photo shoots. We pay you to just, all we want you to do is just wear the hair. But then what we find out is Porsha ain't mad about none of that. Porsha is mad because Drew is going to be filming with Dennis. Now, didn't I tell y'all last week that this Drew Dennis shit was some bullshit set up by Todd to come to us with the bullshit? Didn't I tell y'all last week I wasn't buying the Dennis Drew of it all? But on the flip side, Porsha, girl, you know how this shit works. You know how this mess works. You know that when you are on this show, you need a storyline. You have to have scenes to film. The more you give them to film, the more likelihood that you're going to end up on that episode. You know, Porsha, what this is. You know what this is. So yeah, Drew wants to film with Dennis about her music. Yeah, she's setting up photo shoots. With the hair. And I'm just sitting here like, why are you acting like you don't know how this shit goes? But at the end of the day, by the time we got to the end of this episode, we realized what everybody was really, what Porsha, excuse me, was really mad about. Porsha was mad because she wants the monopoly on the Dennis storyline. She wants the monopoly on Dennis, and she got a problem with with Drew filming with Dennis because Dennis belongs to her. Girl, you was gonna film with somebody's whole husband. You literally stole. That's what it really is. You feeling some kind of way because you know how you stole that girl from you know how you stole Simon from Fallon and she was your co-worker on the show. You know how it works. So now you worry about Drew ending up with Dennis because you know how you slid up in the DMs or wherever it was, because I don't believe that DM story either, but whatever. That's what it is, Porsha. You having deja vu and you don't like what it feel like. So we're gonna put Porsha over there because I ain't lying. I was like, because at first I was like, I don't know. I was feeling all over the place. So let's get over here to Angela and Charles. Thank you, Nicole. I appreciate it, my love. Nicole said, I ain't watching it because I'm over reality TV, but I'm always here to support. Thank you. I love you. Thank you so much. Let me say this. We get over to Angela and Charles Oakley's house. Now, Charles is in the kitchen cooking. Angela decides that she is going to film in this kitchen. Now, y'all got 500 other rooms that y'all could be filming in. But for whatever reason, you decide you're going to film in the kitchen while you see this man is cooking for real, for real. Like, he's not play cooking. He is cooking for real, okay? The first thing that come out of Angela's mouth is, you want some wine? Charles was like, I don't like white wine. Girl, you don't know what your man drink. Like, were you trying to show off with a camera? And he was like, I ain't drinking that shit. Because this is your man, your man, your man. You know, you don't know he don't drink white wine? I want to know more about Charles and this culinary situation he had going on. Because Charles was throwing down. By the time we was done, this man had catering dishes laid out, okay? This man was cooking like y'all was getting ready to have a party. And I just want to know, this man had ribs and hot dog and hamburgers and macaroni and cheese and Brussels sprouts and did you see how thick that cornbread was? I don't give a fuck about what Angela and her daughter was talking about. My fat ass was paying attention to the kitchen situation. I want to know what's going on with Charles. Do you have a cooking show? Are you trying to get a cooking show? Like, who was on their way over for dinner? Because I don't really give a damn about none of the rest of they was talking about. Angela said that she started a finance company, but then she said she bought 5 properties she trying to flip. Girl, are you in finance or are you flipping properties? Which one you doing? She said she's a self-made millionaire. Ain't nobody give her nothing. I'm here for it, girl. I'm here for it. She said that she met Charles at a party back in Chicago back in the day, gave him her number, man never called. 10 years later, they were living in the same complex. They ran into each other, and she felt like it was kismet. Okay, girl. All right. It happens like that. Relationships, we hear about couples all the time that, those kinds of things happen too. So shout out. Good for y'all. Good for y'all. Y'all met up when it was supposed to. They have a blended family situation going on. And Angela proceeds to tell her daughter all about what went down at the party. Now, normally, y'all know how I feel about adults putting kids in adults' business, even though she's over 18 because she was drinking that white wine that Charles didn't want. So she's clearly over 18. But y'all know how I feel because, see, the minute you bring the kids into it, then when you can't get mad if later on one of them women say something about your daughter sitting there cackling with you about their business. And that's why I don't feel like the kids, even though they over 18, should be involved, because the minute somebody say something about your child, then you be ready to fight, but you brought your child into it. But in this case, girl, if her daughter didn't talk to her, she wouldn't have nobody to film with because Charles didn't give a fuck. So she had to film with her daughter. So I'm going to give her a pass. Now, they get to talking about the whole Dennis Drew situation, and she gonna say, I mean, I would feel some kind of way if somebody decided to work with Charles. Charles said, I ain't working with none of them fake hoes. Well, he ain't call them hoes. But what he call them fake them? He's I ain't mess with them fake women. Or lames. He called them lames, I think. Either way, he called them out. He called them a name. I got the jury is still out on the Angela of it all. Cause last week between your wig melting. Okay. So then we have Kenya and Porsha sitting down to talk. And I'm going to change something I said. Back when this whole Porsha situation happened, I said that I didn't believe that Porsha didn't know what was going on with Simon, and I just wasn't buying it. Let me tell y'all, I believe it now. I do. I believe it. I believe that Porsha found out when the rest of us found out about his immigration status. I do. I do believe it now. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I believe it now. I believe that Porsha found out when the blogs found out. Now, I think Porsha knew certain things, but I don't think that Porsha knew the full scope of this man's immigration status. But again, I put that on you. And here's my problem, though, too, with you, Porsha. Your first instinct was to file for divorce? On Monday, we in Dubai, loving it up, posting all this lovey-dovey shit, whatever. You find out that his immigration status ain't what you thought it was, and that he's got charges in his past of fraud and so forth and so on. Man, them charges were in the 80s. He was like in his 20s. And I ain't defending Simon by any stretch of the imagination. But I feel like this is to have it to hold till death do us part and richer and poor. And I just feel like your first instinct was to wake up and file for divorce. Which takes me back to the only reason why you married this man. You didn't marry this man for love. You married this man for the lifestyle you thought he was about to provide. And when you saw that lifestyle getting ready to go out the door, you thought that lifestyle was getting ready to go out the door. You was like, oh, well, chucking up the deuces and I'm out. That just proves to me that you never loved this man. You love what you thought this man was going to do for you. And when you felt like he was no longer getting ready to do it for you or was in a position to do it for you, you rolled out. And like she said last week, the only way to enforce a prenup is, the only way to enforce a prenup is to file for divorce. And you wanted to protect that damn house and whatever else other assets you thought you was going to get from him that y'all signed in that prenup. Wouldn't she financially be responsible for his debt since they are married? It depends on when the debt was incurred. It depends on a lot of things. The law, what the Georgia law is, the prenup. A lot of that goes in, divorce laws are state by state. And depending on the prenup, depending on when that debt was incurred and all of those things, it was, I don't think it would just automatically default to her. So her and Kenya sit down and had this conversation, and they bring up the whole Dennis Drew thing, and she once again reiterates that she's upset that, you know, Drew is basically filming with Dennis. She don't care about the rest of it, because I never really did get clarity on, did you talk to Drew or did you not talk to Drew? 1 minute it was, Drew, you texted me, and then it was, okay, the phone call that Drew's talking about, da 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 da. So did Drew call you or not, girl? Again, Drew said she asked for your blessing, and you gave your blessing. Dennis also called and asked you, so Porsha, you knew about the storyline. Let's call a thing a thing. You knew good and damn well that this was a storyline. When Drew called you and when Dennis called you, you knew it was a storyline. So you was cool with the storyline. You just didn't want Dennis to film. You just thought it was going to be Drew talking for a whole season. Just talking about Dennis. You didn't think Dennis at any point in time had to be on camera? Come on now. Yeah, Porsha knew. Porsha had to know. So then Porsha goes into the divorce was because she didn't know. I just went through that kind of, you know, all the things. And like I said, I do believe now that Porsha didn't really know. I do. Donnell said, I'm glad Drew was playing it like that. Porsha face. Now she see how Fallon felt when she did that to her. I'm glad Drew making her feel uncomfortable. Baby, Donnell, I'm going to get to that when we get to the end, honey. But I'm with you. And that's the problem. The problem is we dealing with two lies. Porsha and Drew, both of their asses be lying. So honestly, when you're dealing with two lies, hell, you can flip a coin. Okay, you just flip a coin. That's what it was. Porsha really thought she was going to come back on this show and take over, especially since Candy was gone. She thought it was going to be her and Kenya running the girls. I really believe that's what she thought. And she's getting her feelings hurt because, see, remember when she agreed to come back, it was Porsha Gobadia. So she was really thinking she was going to come on here flexing, just like with Shamir, flexing that house and flexing this lifestyle and flexing. And then the whole world fell out with the information coming out about Simon, and now you got to regroup. Porsha can't, at this point, we ain't even seen this house because Porsha can't film in it because they were still in court fighting over whether Porsha could even film in the damn house or not. But neither here nor there. Her and Kenya, we see that they're in a good space, you know. They rolled up in their both of them, in them Rolls Royces. Child, by not impressed by none of that. Especially since Porsha, you in court right now to try to keep that damn Rolls Royce. And Kenya, it's hers and all. But okay. Hold on, y'all. Mo Walker said wasn't Fallon involved with the help, but that got to do with anything. She was dating a dude that was, I guess he was her assistant, and they married now with a baby. But what that got to do with what Porsha did? Her fidelity, one way or the other, don't have nothing to do with the sneaky shit that Porsha did, in my opinion. What up, T? You trying to make it to everybody live? Well, thank you for dropping down and showing me some love. Y'all know we all live at the same time, so it's all good. You know, it's all love. We got to get it out, honey. We got to get it out. But don't forget, tomorrow night, whether you like it or not, panel, we're going to all be together talking our shit. Simon's immigration status was a red herring. When Porsha found out about that, she also found out that he was almost $1 million in debt to a private jet. Right. That's what I'm saying. I believe she didn't know any of that. I do. I believe she didn't know any of that. But I also believe that she was like shucking up the deuces. That's pretty much what went down with Kenya and Porsha at the dinner, child. And again, Porsha, nobody feels sorry for you. Nobody feels sorry for you because all of us, well, not all of us, but for those of us that believe you was snaky and you stole that woman's husband and you was real snaky with it, nobody feels sorry for the situation you find yourself in with Simon, because we feel like the way you got him, you know what I'm saying? Now, the people who don't believe, you know, who feel like all was fair in love and war and all of that, maybe they got a little sympathy for you, but I don't have none. I don't have none. Okay. Oh, little baby said Fallon willing to sleep with the help should say something. Well, so Kelly is, I was confused. See, that's what I'm telling y'all. I don't know how to feel about these episodes because I was confusing with Kelly too. So is Kelly buying a new restaurant that she said that she had her first chicken and waffle spot was in one part Conyers or whatever. And now she has a second location in McDonough, but now she's opening up this third location that she's trying to have open by July that just passed. But her project manager is telling her, ma'am, that's not going to happen. And she's like, yes, it will. He was like, okay, my job is to let you know when you're being unrealistic and when we're not going to make our goal. Ma'am, I'm telling you, we're not going to make our goal. Yes, we will. Tell me what you need from me. He was like, first of all, you haven't even told me what equipment you want for this kitchen. We haven't even started working on the kitchen and doing any of the, we got 1 month and that's just not going to happen. It'll happen. Yes, it will. She said that her husband closed the first restaurant. She gives us more information about her husband a little bit later on, but we'll get to that. But yeah. Right. He said they don't even have no permits. Girl, bye. Is the restaurant even open now? Is the restaurant even open now? Shit. I'm gonna drop the top. Then we get to Brit and her husband. Y'all. Even though I do not like what Kenya is accused of doing to this woman, I think I understand why she did it now. There's nothing about Brit that is likable to me. I'm sorry. I didn't like this whole scene. First of all, once again, I feel like the McDonough one is the only one open. See, so you still ain't got that restaurant open, baby. It is March. You said you was trying to have it open by July of 2024, baby. It is March of 2025. We closer to July of 2025 than 2024. What are you doing, ma'am? What are you doing? So let me say this. First of all, I felt like they put us in the middle of a conversation because y'all are talking about renovations, house, babies. There's no beginning to this story. Like, what are you talking about? The house that y'all are currently in, which actually looks like a really cute house from the outside. The house that y'all are currently in, are y'all renovating it so y'all can get a new house? Like, what? Where do we start in this conversation? Why are we in the middle? Why are we starting in the middle? What are you renovating? Are you renovating a rental space? Are you renovating the house that y'all are living in? And then she starts talking about, yeah, because when I buy my dream house, I want my mother to live with us. But ain't your mother already living with y'all? And how did that happen? How did your mama end up in the house? But then later on, she said to the mother, well, I want you to sell your house and then move in with us. When did y'all have a conversation about the mama living with y'all and about having a baby? Like, I just feel like we're in the middle of a conversation. And her husband is about as over as Charles is with Angela. He don't want to be there. And they talking about having a baby and renovating houses. And then your mama comes sliding in there, her robe. And he talking about, well, we're going to try to have a baby this year. Mama like, it's going to happen. He was like, we're going to try to have a baby this year. Mama was like, it's going to happen. And then she going to say to her, you want to get in a hot tub? What the fuck? You want to go get in a hot tub? Yeah, I was really sitting here like, I said, here we go again. We got another mama. I said, we done lost Mama Joyce. You know, now we got another mama that's going to slide up in here and cause confusion. So that's what his, trust and believe, before this season is over, mama is going to do her best Mama Joyce impression. Because why is she here, Ike? I mean, mama just walked up in the middle, and then he gonna say, no, I don't like the hot tub. It's too hot. Or the sauna, wherever the fuck they was going. And I was like, what the fuck is happening here? So then she said she's got an insurance agency, and that's how she met him. She said they started dating during COVID. They went out to Vegas, had a good time. She knew he was the one. They got married during the Panorama, which means they've been married at least 5 years now, between 4 and 5 years. Right, he has a 15-year-old. She said he has a 15-year-old. He don't want no baby. She said they're going to do in vitro because they want to choose the sex and they want a girl. So there's that. Is it me or has Brit had one too many nose jobs? Did y'all hear how nasally she sound? She sound like Khloe Kardashian. You know how Khloe Kardashian talks like it's all in her nose because she didn't had the damn nose jobs and then fucked up her nasal passage. Anyway, right, little baby, she was talking through her nose. I think that's the nose job. I don't think she had no choice. You could tell when these people have all these damn nose jobs because then their voice is so nasally. Because when you have these nose, there's a reason why your nose is the way it is. It's that way for a reason. And when people be messing with their noses and then they get all nasally, you can hear it in Khloe Kardashian's voice, and you can hear it in Michael Jackson. Like when people be fucking with their nose too much, I don't think like one nose job maybe, but when people just keep fucking with it, that's when you start hearing it, and you can hear all in her. You can hear all in her nose. It's just real nasally. Anyway. We saw Shamir meet with her surrogate. I think she did tell us last week that her surrogate, which was also Candy's surrogate, actually ended up having breast cancer while she was carrying Shamir's second baby. And I loved this moment. First, Shamir asked about how she was doing. The woman looked like she had the mastectomy and she got the reconstructed breast. And she said, yeah, honey, I got a whole new body. And I love how they had a conversation about, she said, listen, it wasn't the pregnancy that made me, that brought the cancer. She said, if anything, I might not have caught it as soon as I did because my breast and everything was being checked because I was carrying the baby. And Shamir was like, I just felt so guilty. I was carrying this guilt. Like, was it my fault? And then the surrogate felt guilty with all of the health issues that Shamir's daughter was having because they had to basically, once they found the cancer, they had to get the baby out. So that's why the baby was premature. Because it wasn't healthy for the baby to stay in her body. And so I just thought that was a moment. I thought it was a genuine moment. Even though they've probably had that conversation, them having it on camera, I felt like it was a genuine moment. And I felt like, see, this is the type of shit that I want to see because this answers, not that it's any of my business, but in a reality TV show, you telling us your business. But this answers a lot of questions, right? About what happened with that second pregnancy, right? Why was the baby premature and all of that? And the fact that both of them were carrying a certain level of guilt. We also found out that Shamir went through a lot of rounds of IVF before she went through the surrogacy, that she's just having a really hard time getting pregnant the natural way. And again, I think a lot of people pass judgment when they find out that people have surrogates, not understanding the story. For most people, going to a surrogate is not the first option. It's not the first choice. And it's not even the optimal choice, right? So I think a lot of times people who make these comments or draw these conclusions, you don't know people's struggle and you don't know what these people have gone through before they make the decision that they make. Not to mention, in vitro is not cheap. Now, we know Shamir doesn't have a problem with paying that bill, but in vitro is not cheap. So even when you meet people on an everyday basis that have gone through in vitro, understand the money that they have spent and the dedication and what they have gone through with that in vitro. You know what I'm saying? She also said she had an ectopic, I hope I said that right, pregnancy where basically she was pregnant in her tubes. And she was talking about going to the emergency room and them telling her she had to wait until they saw all the blood. And then, because her tubes had exploded. But did y'all catch something that I caught in this scene? Did y'all catch that the surrogate has started her own surrogacy business where she helps women find surrogates? But did y'all hear that that's her business with Dr. Jackie? I said, Dr. Jackie, I'm not mad at you. You making money hand over fist. And I ain't even mad at you about it. I'm not even mad at you about it. Okay? I said, okay. Because she said with because I knew that Dr. Jackie had referred her to Candy. And I'm wondering at what point did she start this agency? But she said with Dr. Jackie. Oh, 5 years ago. Thank you, Just Me. See, Just Me be getting me together. Mm-hmm. Thank you, boo. Yeah, I knew that she referred her to Candy, but I didn't know they had an official business together. You know what I'm saying? So then we have this scene with Brit and Kelly. First of all, I want to say, Brit, whoever did your makeup for this scene, don't use them again. Mm-mm. Her makeup looked like Mia's makeup at that reunion where you could see the clear blush line. It was like right there. And it was like right there. Ma'am. And I don't know who did your makeup. They may do a really good job for like in person. It may have been fine. But you have to find somebody that knows how to do makeup for these cameras, because the cameras are going to pick up a lot of stuff that maybe you don't pick up like right in somebody's face. So whoever did your makeup for this scene, don't do that again. But basically the two of them were just sitting in Kelly's living room cackling. They got dogs and they said they let their dogs play together. They said they've known each other for a couple of years. And basically they was just cackling. Okay. Brit reiterated the situation with the ring with Kenya. Girl, Kenya was not clocking your ring. You brought up the ring and they was talking about divorce. And Kenya said, oh, is that your first ring? Like, because y'all was talking about divorce. And you said something about this being your second ring. So she thought you meant your second marriage. Girl, stop playing with us. And y'all know I don't even be doing all of that defending Kenya, but when you're right, you're right, and you're wrong, you're wrong. You created a moment with Kenya. Girl, Kenya didn't come for you. Okay, that's number one. Number two, Kelly, why are you still worried about Porsha and that woman? Listen, we all know Porsha stole that man from that woman. Where the people that we know. Why are y'all still talking about it? What did you think Porsha was gonna say? Porsha don't know you. She just met you for the first time. What do you think Porsha was going to say? Yeah, girl, I did that. What do you think Porsha was going to say? So why are we still talking about? She's like, I thought we were going to have that conversation and we started talking about Drew and Dennis. Yes, because nobody gives a fuck about Porsha and that man, especially since they ain't even together no more. Then they were talking about her wedding. So Brit didn't have a real wedding because it was during the Panorama. So I guess at some point this season, she's going to have a wedding. I don't care nothing about that. Drew is going to the gym. She's got Angela coming and she's got Shamir coming. And I feel like her purpose was to talk to Shamir because she didn't really like how the situation went at the party with Shamir. She said, me and Shamir have been cool for years. And, I just didn't understand why the conversation went the way it went. So basically Drew was like, look, I'm out here hustling because Ralph is trying to take a bunch of money from me. He's trying to get child support. He's trying to get in on my businesses. He's trying to take. And I'm doing everything I can do to just keep us above water. Okay. When she was doing this, all I could hear was the Good Times theme. Keeping my head above water. That's all I heard. making a way when you can. That's all I heard because she was really trying. Okay, she was really trying. And she said, look, I done went to other producers. I have tried to go. And I appreciate Angela for asking that question because I asked that question myself. But she said, listen, I have gone to the top, to these legends in the industry, and it ain't done shit for me. Dennis came to me. He had a very professional business pitch, and it is all business. That is it. That is it. It is nothing going on with me and Dennis, baby. It is just business. Now, like I said, do I think anything is going on between her and Dennis right now? I don't. I really don't. Would I be surprised in the future to find out that her and Dennis are messing around? I wouldn't. You see what I'm saying? Two things can be true at the same time. I don't think they're messing around right now. But would I be surprised to find out that they hooked up later on? No, I wouldn't. Because I don't put nothing past people I don't put nothing past the people. So Shamir shows up and they do their whole workout. Y'all know they got to, do the whole workout or whatever. So at the end of the workout, Shamir, why you always got to talk about sex, though? Listen, I like Shamir, y'all, but honestly, girl, all the time, everything got to be sex. All the time. Anyway, thank you, Sweet Pea. She said, Porsha says she is unbothered. Hold on, let me read it. She is unbothered, but production show at least 3 future confessionals where she is very bothered by Drew and Dennis' work. She absolutely is bothered by, thank you for the super chat, my love. She is absolutely bothered by Dennis and Porsha. And she doesn't want Dennis filming on the show. But we can even go back to that bullshit show that Porsha had. We can even go back to that bullshit show that Porsha had. The way you did Dennis on that show, the way you tried to play Dennis on that show, stop playing with me, Porsha. You use everybody for your own gain. And when it's the other way around, now it's a problem. And somebody said it in the chat earlier, and y'all know that's one of my favorite sayings. Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. So now all of a sudden, it's a problem when everybody else does it. But I remember when you had that old fake bullshit Porsha show and you set everybody up. You set your family up. You set Dennis up. You had the Dennis. It was a mess. It was a mess. Sex got Shamir, a wealthy African and a colorist. She needs to teach a class how to. Shit, you're right about that. Now that you ain't lied about that. So when the workout is over, Shamir and Porsha Shamir and Drew get to talking. And before Shamir could have the conversation with Drew about Dennis and why she asked the question, here come Angela. You just Portia's lapdog. Well, you was just Portia's do-girl. Well, you was just Portia's assistant. Well, blah, blah, blah. So the two of them got to arguing. Drew couldn't get a word in edgewise. So we really never got past the conversation of why did you ... We never really got much further than that. But I find it interesting that, Angela, you're coming off as doing the same thing that you're accusing Shamir of doing. You're accusing Shamir of being Portia's lapdog, but the way that you was you was coming off as Drew's lapdog. Because the conversation really was between Drew and Shamir. Girl, nobody asked you for your opinion. Nobody asked you nothing. And if you was going to insert your opinion, at least wait until after until Drew has and Shamir have had a chance to have a conversation. Because I wanted to hear the conversation between Drew and Shamir. I don't care nothing about what you got to say. I don't care that you feel some kind of way, that you feel like Shamir was being Portia's lapdog or whatever. Let Drew answer the question. We want to hear the lie she about to tell, damn it. So then we get to this last scene with Porsha and Dennis. Can I listen? Let me tell y'all something. Porsha, come here, boo. Come here, Porsha. Come here. Come here. Porsha, I don't think this is gonna go the way you think it's gonna go. I don't think this is gonna go the way you think it's gonna go. Because I really think you thought you was gonna come down here and you was gonna do the woe is me, that man lied to me. And he didn't do what he said. He wasn't all that he said he was gonna be. And he lied to me, and he had my daughter believing. Thank you. Hey boo. Hey y'all. Then you thought that you was gonna come down here and get us to feel all the feels for you. Porsha, don't nobody feel sorry for you. Mm-mm. So we see Porsha that took Pilar. Looked like a children's museum playhouse. Looked like it was a cute little situation, right? Dennis shows up, and Porsha starts grilling him about the Drew situation. Now, here's what I don't like. I don't like when people start playing word games to try to make a point, right? So what I didn't like was when Porsha was like, well, you're saying something totally different than what Drew said. No, they weren't. They were saying the same thing. Drew was putting a little extra on it. She was putting 20 on 10, talking about he's my angel and blah, 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 blah. Now, she was putting 20 on 10. But essentially what she said was, listen, Dennis came to me with a business proposal, helped me do some music. I accepted his proposal. He was Team Ralph, was really trying to, wanted me and Ralph to work things out. But ultimately, and that's the first thing that came out of Dennis' mouth. He was like, look, Ralph is my homeboy and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I honestly don't feel like they were saying two totally different things. Like I said, I think Drew was putting a little extra oomph on the situation, but I don't think they were saying two totally different things. But once again, Porsha is mad. And do y'all know the part? This the part that did it for me. When Porsha said, right now, I just need everybody's support, and nobody supports me. Girl, support you in what? In divorcing that man that you stole? Because I seem to remember that when you first got with that man, you told everybody to kiss your ass. Because you was in love. You was like Teresa Giudice, girl. You was in your love bubble with Simon. And it was just you and Simon against the world. And you didn't care about what nobody had to say. You didn't care about what nobody had to tell you. And I feel like all of that, I just need people to support me right now. I'm just doing the best to hold on. Girl, I'm not feeling it because I don't feel your pain. So she goes in the bathroom to talk to producers, talking about he's not going to get my tears. He doesn't deserve my tears. Because they were like, well, have you talked to her? Have you talked to her? Talk to him. He doesn't deserve my tears. And she's sitting over there. And what I thought was funny was Dennis was sitting there paying with Pilar and paying her no attention. Like he was paying her no attention. He was sitting there watching his daughter play. And he was paying, that shit was cracking me. Dennis was sitting there with them sunglasses on, watching his daughter play, and Porsha was on the other side of the room waiting for him to say something or do something, baby. He was giving her none of that. And she was just like, I can't believe you're going to film. I can't believe you're going to film. And he was like, but we talked to you about it. Like, she talked to you, I talked to you, but I didn't know that you were going to film. Like, I can't believe, this is my, and she said, on this platform, on I don't think she said my platform, but on this platform, you're going to film with her on this platform? Oh, no. Next thing you know, now here's where I was confusion. Were they on the cell phone? Because Porsha we got her on the hot mic, but we see her pulling off in her car. My question is, I know she was mic'd up, but was Dennis in the car with her or were they on the phone? It don't even matter though, because Dennis is still trying to explain to her, look, the album, I think she was on the phone because I think she was on the phone. But Dennis was explaining to her, listen, the album was supposed to come out a month ago and we were going to use this as promo for the album. And everything he's saying makes perfect sense. Like, look, girl, We were using this to promote promote her album. So of course I have to be seen. If I'm the producer and I'm putting out the album, of course they got to see me. This was all about production. This was all about production for the album. Like, girl. And he was like, you know, you got your mic on. Oh yeah, I know you know all about that. You just an expert now. I guess he is, Porsha, because with you, he filmed what? 3 seasons of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. He filmed y'all's baby special, and he filmed your little fake ass spinoff. So yeah, I guess he is an expert thanks to you. I guess he is an expert on hot mics and filming reality TV and scenes because of you. I said, you gotta be freaking kidding me. So yeah, Porsha, I don't think this is gonna turn out the way you think it's gonna turn out. Because I really think you think that you're gonna get a whole lot of sympathy that you just not gonna get from the majority of the fans. Now, I mean, you got people that stand with Porsha. Everybody, we've learned that everybody got a fan base. But baby, I just don't think the majority of the people are going to give you what you're looking for. And you really thought you was coming back to the show and was going to be Queen Bee. And you are really in your feelings that Drew had the audacity to film with you because you think you got the monopoly on Dennis as your baby daddy. Like, that's your storyline. And you got the monopoly on it as your, you know, your baby daddy. Girl, bye. Anyway, that was the episode, y'all. Don't forget tomorrow night. It's the Whether You Like It or Not panel. We'll be on JoJo's channel. I'll share it on my community wall if you're not subscribed to JoJo, which you should be. But it'll be on my community wall. Also, you know, it'll be on Instagram tomorrow as well, so you guys can get the link. We will be there at 8:30-ish tomorrow night, and we will talk about it all. Although I don't think it's going to be too many people, except for I don't think it's going to be too many people that's going to feel differently. But, baby, we're going to talk about it, okay? I will talk to y'all later. Mwah. Peace. It's on T's channel? I thought it was on JoJo's channel. My bad. It's on T's channel. Y'all know I always fuck up the rotation. My bad. It's on T's channel. I thought JoJo. So it's Scotty T, JoJo, me. Okay. All right. All right. And then Sakina. Okay. All right. Never mind. My bad. It's on T's channel. My bad. I'll put that's right, JoJo. Right. I'll put it on my community wall, y'all. Sorry about that. It'll be T's channel. It'll be on my community wall. My bad. All right. Talk to y'all later. Yep. Tomorrow night, 8:30. Talk to you Eastern Standard Time. Good night, everybody. Mwah. Peace.